All right, now I am recording. All right, well, thank you for showing up, everybody. Thank you for attending. So we're going to get started here. Um, and I'm still working out the bugs on the Facebook Live. Sorry, this is the first time I was trying to go live on Facebook too, but I'm recording this so I could email this to you. I'm trying to set it up so this recording also, so you could use the same login or invite to see every one of these that's recorded also. And if not, it'll be on my Facebook, or I could also email it to you. So I'll have all of these recorded too, or you could always book some time with me and I'll do it individually with you all over again. So if you want to do that, so that's always open. So today is the first of what I would call the daily real estate workout. So just I wanted to come up with, and I'm really taking this from a program that Century 21 just started last week. So I'm kind of repackaging some of it. So some of our Century 21 agents, a lot of this is, if you've already taken the classes, this is a lot of the same stuff, but I'm going to put my twist on it, my things, what I feel is best for you. And then throughout these classes, Coach Sherry Johnson's going to jump on and give us her talk, her opinion on some of these topics. And she should be jumping on today any minute now. And she's going to try to attend as many as possible. And then there's Sherry. Hello there. Do I need to unmute you?
I just did. Good morning.
Good. All right. So there you are. Awesome. Okay, so I was just letting everybody know that you're going to be jumping on as things go on throughout, because we're doing this every day, and you're going to try to jump on as much as your time. I know your valuable time of all the people you have to coach across the country, but you know, us native Clevelanders or Northeast Ohio, since you're right here in our neighborhood, you're going to give us, priority.
That's right. That's right. Especially with you. So yeah, we're good.
Okay, well, good. So basically, I was telling everybody that we're going to be recording these. We could reaching out to people if they want to go over it more individually. And just first off, I'm going to kind of go through a small presentation of the things little things to think about, things to do, things to post, and things to say. I'm going to kind of go through all of that in 10, 15 minutes. And then the last part, I'll look at the chat, look at the questions, and kind of go over the questions. So if agents they could see in the chat and the questions like, wow, that's a question I want to know about. Then we'll they could stay and watch for, those answers. And then we'll kind of just go through it that way. So I'm going to share my screen now and go into my PowerPoint here. All right, let's see here. Do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me see here. Let's see here. Oh, 1 second. Let me try that again. It says share screen. Share. All right, how's that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so the daily real estate workout. We're really looking at stuff to do every day. These are kind of the 4 things that got to be in your head every day: the stretch, the warm up, the workout, the cool down. Stretch your muscles, daily motivation, get yourself pumped up, get yourself going for the day. So every day I'm going to give you a motivational quote of the day, of something to think about. I'm trying to put those in kind of connection with, of course, real estate, business related, and even specifically more to the topic of the day of what we're doing. So I'm out there searching every day for a better quote for each day. So I'm not just pulling them out of the sky. Warm up, prep for your day, review what your goals for the day are going to be. Start making some calls, texts, emails, instant message. We'll go over ideas on that. And then, of course, at the end of each day is kind of a cool down of recovery, of just recapping what you've done, what you accomplished for the day. Remember, in real estate and in this type of sales, accomplishment doesn't mean I got an actual appointment or scheduling appointment, or got a listing, or got a buyer. I'm going to go start showing houses soon, because every day just connecting with people is an accomplishment, especially now what's going on now. So basically, we're going to go through those 4 steps each day. First, our motivational quote of the day is: success is a sum of all small efforts repeated day in and day out. So, Sherry, do you agree everything in real estate in this type of sales is pretty much a sum of all parts and persistence?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every single thing counts, and they're planting seeds and working on each conversation is working towards getting an appointment. Each appointment is working towards getting a contract signed. So 100%, it's a lot of daily routine that, everything counts, whether you email people or text them or call them, leave a message even counts. All those things counts. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with this more.
Yeah, no, I've heard that there was one quote I heard once, and I wish I saved it because it's a very good quote. But basically, excellence is doing the same thing over and over again, or even the boring things over and over again. So I think actually it was a sports star or someone that's really far in athletics, and they're just saying you got to do those boring things over and over, and that's how the people get to succeed over other people, because they continue to do the boring things. So yes, it's not exciting. What's that? Discipline, right. So just similar, like imagine if you're in a certain type of sport and you have to shoot baskets over and over and over and over again. Yeah, they enjoy it, but imagine how many times you have to shoot baskets, swing a golf club, go for a jog. I mean, it's the monotonous things that you have to do, but try to enjoy them as much as you can. But we all know if you're sitting there sending text messages and emails and phone calls all day long every day, it's not the most glamorous thing in the world to do. But if you get through it and do it consistently every day, you're going to get there. So something to do every day, or checking in, is just that what our families and friends and community need more now is a friendly reminder that we're there and that we care. So that's the number one thing that you should be thinking about in your connections with people. You're just reaching out to people to really connect with them, see how they're doing, because there might be a lot of those people that are not going to go out for see houses tomorrow. They're not going to go list their house tonight because they want to wait. So you're just connecting with them. I mean, we went through that in the last couple of weeks or last week with our sessions, Sherry. I mean, do you feel the same way?
100%. And, the closer, just because we're in this deeper doesn't mean that if you've already checked on somebody 3 weeks ago, it's still okay to call them again, because it's been 3 weeks later, but it feels like 6 or 8 weeks later. So
Right.
checking in, continuously reaching out, and whether you're doing community service for local restaurants, or you're just checking in and then talking about real estate, regardless, that effort is going to pay off. And nothing more than, even if you're just giving good information about the real estate market and what's happening and how many sales are happening, you're making connections each and every week. You can just, even every other week, calling the same people, and don't feel like if you haven't reached somebody, call those people for sure. But the checking in and connecting is very, very huge right now, especially now.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it I think we all could agree this feels like a lot longer than it is. And I feel like I'm talking to family and friends more than I did before, and it feels longer. Like I might not speak to someone for a month, but for the last 2 weeks, if I don't speak with someone for a week, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like a month. So if you feel that way, that's probably your sphere. Your sphere is feeling that way too. Is that if you check in on once a week, once every week and a half, to them, it's right now it's feeling like a month. So and they have the time to talk to you and communicate with you. So yeah, you can never really check in with people too much right now when things are going on here. And then afterwards too, when this is goes down, wherever this takes us, you still could check in with people. This is not going to end like, okay, everything's back to normal. So you can see how people are adjusting to the new norm
And,
too.
and we should have been doing this anyway.
Right. So
It's like, it's great because before we would all say, well, why am I calling? I don't have a reason to call. And really, daily check-ins, weekly calls to your sphere
right.
were always things that as real estate agents, we know help us build our business. So this has sort of forced us to do it. And at the same time, you can check on, I've paid more attention to the local Facebook posts about the community probably than I ever have,
Right.
because you're seeing what everybody's doing. So you're keeping up with what's going on. And now when you talk to the people in your community, you're up to speed on what's happening. Those are some things talking points you can cover too.
Oh, definitely.
On the Facebook page for your town. So,
And I've spoken to many of my agents, and a lot of them, it's the same kind of thing where you have the same topics to talk about. People, if you know about them, they have kids at home in their school age. You could talk about how they're doing in school, their schoolwork, and learning things, remotely. If they have, if they're elderly or have elderly parents in nursing homes or living with them, you could talk about how they're doing through all of that. There's so many things to talk about in a good or in a good way, and trying to show that you care. So next we're going to say something you could post, and I could email this. I'm going to try to email this to everybody, but it's a nice little fun game that you could play with your Facebook or Instagram. It's called Quarantine Bingo. So I have this bingo card here that you could see. It's just a fun little game. If you've seen it on Facebook, people, like I just did one for Easter, like everybody pick like what candy they like the best or don't like, and then the next day they'll it just keeps your Facebook keep ongoing of communicating with people. And then this is something you could do once a week or more. It's not just something you have to do right now. So just a fun idea that Century 21 gave us that I'm going to share with everybody else, and kind of took out all of our logos and everything, so anybody from any company can use it. Or you could just use this template and create your own too. It gives you something to do. So I have everybody's email address. I'll send that after this, but if you didn't get it or whatnot, reach out to me there. So Sherry, do you have any other things like that you've seen that you've used or suggest people to get more traction on their Facebook, like something fun to do?
yeah, I think local outdoor events, reminding people about our park system, reminding people to go out and walk and take the kids, take the family, go to some treasures that we have here in town in Cleveland, or in, even like, for us to go down to Peninsula, where the parks are, or to go to Lake Erie, or to go to Huntington Beach, or don't forget, to go visit the Cleveland sign at Edgewater. I mean, there are so many great places. Northeast, by Fairport Harbor. There are a lot of things people can do that gets them out of the house. It gets them exercising. It gets them, literally out of the house and sort of getting some fresh air time. So I think reminding people to experience Cleveland right now, safely, of course, but post things that are fun to do. I've seen a lot of great posts for, movies, Netflix, for museums that are actually doing virtual tours of museums. I've seen performances. If something really cool is happening and you see that, share it on your Facebook and just say, this is a great activity, I plan to go, or who's going, and just start some dialogue with people Or you can say, what's been the best? You can start asking questions. When we talk about engaging people for two-way conversation on Facebook, it's the questions you ask, like,
Mhm.
what's been the best part of being quarantined for you?
Right.
And what's great about that is, you can ask a couple of your friends to comment on that to get the ball rolling, and then more people will start commenting. And that two-way conversation is what you're trying, that's the type of engagement you're trying to get on Facebook. So I would ask, what's been the best part of, for you, and then put your own, be the first one to comment. And, you can share, uh, first of all, it's a feel good, and it reminds us all, this is actually okay, right? And you can start, communicating with all of your sphere. And now, if I post that and Tony writes something really awesome, right now, I'm going to pick up the phone and call you and say, "Hey, I saw your post. That was awesome." And it's obviously a conversation starter, but it's those are the things you can add. I love this bingo. I think it's awesome.
And then also, but it goes with the theme of community. So you're talking about the community,
Yep.
and a lot of things you don't have to recreate yourself. If you go to cleveland.com, or
Yep.
Scene is a magazine for the area, or anywhere in your community. So any agents in different communities in Columbus, Cincinnati, wherever you're from, find some type of, and they're going to have different restaurants. Well, you can't go to restaurants now, but there's outside things that you can do, just like what Sherry was saying. And you could come up with a game. Like I've seen that. Like how many of us seen? How many of these bands have you seen in concert? And then there's like 300 comments on people's Facebook pages
Yeah.
on how many bands of those that they saw. It could be a game. You could say how many of these locations outside in parks, the Emerald Necklace that we have in Cleveland of all the parks, which all the parks have you been to? And things that you've seen. So you can create these own games. It's unlimited ideas on how you could do these. And again, it gets the conversation going. It's easy. These are people who want to communicate with you. And again, it's, I always say this, and Sherry, I think you've heard me say this, is that, yeah, if you have all realtor friends on your Facebook, it's time to get more friends. So that's great. We love to all be as a community as realtors. I love that. But if all of your comments and all of your things are just with other realtors, that's not the point. So
No, and to fix that, what we recommend, and it's just literally taking your phone and going through the people because it tells you people you may
yeah,
know, and ask 50 people a day to be friends with you.
exactly. No,
And
that's good.
you'll build your Facebook group of friends up.
So the next is things you can do. So some people are just not comfortable with video. You probably have seen many webinars and live Facebook videos from different agents and brokers and coaches, and just using video. You have to use video to really get yourself out there. So here's a link, and I'm going to try to play the video. Well, I'm just going to send this link to everybody because it's about a 10-minute video, just a tip of how to how to video a little bit better, like the lighting, the location of the camera, and different things like that. And also you could always Google that too, of different ways. So if you're not comfortable in how the best practices of video, where to put the camera, where the lighting is, where everything else is, there's great videos for that, and this is a link to one of them, and I'll email that to everybody so you can watch that video too. Sherry, I mean, obviously you've done lots and lots and lots of videos and coaching, live video coaching. Any suggestions for agents that are trying it for the first time or to improve on?
Yeah, I definitely think that you have to frame yourself. So many times I see agents with um, the wrong camera view, right? It's going up my face, it's too far down. You also have to be in the scene straight on, like Tony is, and have good lighting. If you have to put your computer on a box, or if you have a stand-up desk, make sure that the lighting behind you is good, so that if it's shadows on your face. You don't want that. You want to have, you might go and invest in one of these lights. You know, these are great if the lighting is bad, because they give you bright light around your, and now you would never use these on your cell phone like kids that
And
do,
those
but
just clip right on top of your computer, right? Or your
yeah,
laptop?
there's a
Okay.
clip on the back end, and you just put it on there, and then I have a brighter face, and it's going to help. It goes directly around the circle camera, like it goes right over the camera. And so these help when you have, a lot of shadows. If you're in a room, make sure the background looks good, right? Because you don't want people to see a messy office, for example, or if you can shoot this in a living room, it's a nice backdrop. That's nice, and definitely watch this video, because I think, while we want it to be natural and natural sounding, we also want it to look professional. You don't want to be like, "Hey, this is my house," and you know, um,
And
it's a mess or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just,
we had a quick question, where to get those lights. Where did you get yours? Did you find them on Amazon or?
yeah, you go to Amazon. This one is Social Light. I think this was based on it came with a selfie stick and all kinds of stuff that I don't use. Although it also came with a tripod, which was kind of nice. So you can get just the light. If you Google cell phone light, or Google anything like that, right? Clip on light for your cell phone, they'll all come up, and they're really cheap. I mean, this is like, it might be $10 kind of a thing. So
Mhm.
these are easy, and again, it just puts better lighting on your face. I think, you know, the other thing I would say is, make sure that you're, like right now, I'm not using a microphone. Um, I'm just using the microphone built into my laptop, but I often will use the AirPods, whether it's the original
Mhm.
version of AirPods or even one of these. This actually makes the sound way better when you're talking. And when people, I can't plug this one in because it's not the right extension, but it's okay if you're looking like this and talking. It's completely normal. So either your AirPods that will go on Bluetooth, right? Either AirPods or some other type of Bluetooth microphone. That way, your sound is just a little bit better. But you can also use your headphones, or you can do what Tony and I are doing, which is just talking to the camera. It's a little better sounding when you have a microphone right by your face.
Right. Yeah. No, I just use my my desktop and
You sound great.
and uh, and that's what I was doing
I'm
here in my
doing too.
office. So.
And that's all I'm doing too, is just the microphone. It just, sometimes just check the sound. Sometimes it does come across a little bit better when we use a mic, but it just depends on, Macs are really good mics. So if you have a Mac, I think you're in good shape.
Well, all right. Well, here's something that basically you could say. Something that you could say, when you're connecting with people is like, "Hi, this is Tony Geraci with Century 21 HomeStar." Just obviously, if they know who you are, Tony, we've spoken in a while. Basically, if you could read this, you just want to explain to them. And I'm sorry, my screen, and I got things blocking the screen, so I can't read it all. But you can see that you just want to explain what reach out, see how they're doing, and make sure that you're available for if they need anything in real estate. I'm hearing this every day from a few agents that they're shocked or surprised that they're actually getting business and doing things. And there's people that want to do things virtually or even go see vacant houses. And because in just a week or two ago, they were kind of shutting down their business thinking no one's going to do anything. So you never know until you communicate with them. So also try to connect, like we were just saying, with the community. Anything you can do to connect with your community through video, through your Facebook. You don't have to go in. Like an example, you could spend once a week or as many times, and I see this a lot in some of our realtors posts of picking a restaurant that's a, to go or delivery to support those restaurants. So imagine over the next, couple more weeks, or as long as you want, if you every week you pick a restaurant and let them know you're picking them to sponsor them or push them on your social media. Now you've got a advocate. You just have a business that might support you now because you supported them when they needed you. So pick those places around town. You don't have to drive far. You don't have to go anywhere. Drive a half hour and you're just picking something. Hey, do it while you're picking up food. So if you're picking up food or they're delivering it to you, you can do it in your house. See the delivery guys walking up with the food from wherever. So do a Facebook Live saying, hey, I'm just getting food delivered from wherever in our neighborhoods. Please support that. I'm seeing lots of pictures of food every day. How about you? What are you seeing in your Facebook feeds? Are you seeing a lot of that too, Sherry?
I am. It's funny. I feel like it's exercise. People are doing more exercise. People are doing more community. I guess it would be like, my favorite is the daily, like where I should get my to-go food. Like everybody, like agents will post and say, Wednesdays highlighted restaurant in Sugar Falls is, and it'll say Flipside, and it'll give their hours and their phone number. Yours truly, all the local restaurants, and stuff that I didn't know was open. And so it's kind of been great because if I haven't gone to the grocery store or my kids want something to go, we know who's open because of this involvement, that constant involvement on Facebook. If you have to have your settings on Facebook to notify you like every time something is posted. So go into that group and say, see first, or notify me for every post, not just the highlight post. Mm-hmm. That way you're seeing everything that's coming from those people. And then again, if you're the person putting that stuff out, your name is good. You're going to be out there every day. You have a reason to communicate with everybody every day. 3:00, make it a plan that at 3:00 you highlight a different restaurant, or you highlight a different grocery store, or you highlight somebody in the community who's doing something really great. Sharing your menu and offer to send the recipe is a good option. Yep, I love it. Celio, yes, that's exactly. And what you're doing is twofold. You're helping that restaurant person, right? You're helping your community because everybody's sort of in the same, if nobody did anything with it, it still got your name out there. And yet what's happening is those restaurants know that you're helping drive business and customers to them daily. So I would pick, even if it's a coffee shop, if it's something that's open and you can talk about it, that is a perfect excuse that you can help. You can also do things like, donating blood, donating, masks. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be restaurant or community, local restaurants and businesses. It can be things that help people, like the mask thing. I think that's a great, but you have to know people that are making them, but if you do, there's another area that you can do. And I also know, I see, Tony, people looking for tutors and childcare. So those are childcare, elderly care, and tutors. Maybe.
Right. And this is just the beginning. I feel that if you start this now, number one, I think more people are watching social network, Facebook, Instagram more than ever because there's less things to do. So I think this is a time, if you're not doubling up on social media, you got to do it now. And two, if you start getting connecting with businesses in your area, wait till everything opens up, and you can have an ongoing promotion of different businesses and letting them know what's going on. Say all of a sudden, where you get your hair cut or nails done or wherever open up, while you're there doing it, you're already there. let them do a Facebook Live while you're there waiting, going, hey, I'm here. This is what they're doing. They're open now. They're open certain hours. This is what they're doing to stay safe. This is what they're doing for their customers to get them back in. And now you're helping them build their business back up, because a lot of those businesses are going to need our help, and you're going to be the first one to help those people. And if it's anywhere that you're already going or will be going, why don't you have a relationship with them now? Now it's the time to open up that relationship.
Those people will refer you business, right? Those business owners will refer you business. And by the way, in 1996 or 97, I did these restaurant cards. It was like a card, right? And we didn't have Facebook then, obviously. We didn't have social media. And so I would mail everybody these cards, and they would keep them in their car, their junk drawer, and it had every restaurant's phone number on it. That's exactly what we're doing right now. So I say, absolutely, this is a fantastic marketing idea to do now, but to also carry out, as Tony just said, for the future, because it's what we've been always taught to do, give people easy access to information. And, I think that's great. I also saw people, Tony, recommending, even if you can't, since we can't physically go there, some of the restaurants that are out of business, you can call them and get a gift card and use that as a gift for a Mother's Day, for birthdays. And so you can support these people by buying gift cards too, and then using them when we're allowed to.
Oh, definitely. No, and this is the time to do it and build those relationships and connections, because it's going to keep on. It's not something that's going to end in 2 weeks. It's going to keep on going, and people are going to need that help. And then if you get into the whole thing, when we started this, is persistent. Little things that you do consistently will get you there, and will get you that following. And like what Sherry mentioned earlier, is you got to friend more people, build up your database of people watching you. And it's easy, just friends of friends of friends. Search for people that are on your phone, connected on, you already have in your phone's contacts. Do something to build that network of people. And then of course you could search. Obviously, if you already know, you could search for people, look them on Facebook. Who hasn't tried to search someone on Facebook? So if even your neighbors that you haven't communicated with or connected with in years, you could look for them on Facebook and friend them and build a new relationship up. Because one of the things that we hate to see as realtors, and Sherry, you'll probably agree with this, the worst thing that we hate is that when we drive down our street one day and like 5 doors down from our own house is another agent's sign, for sale. So you're like, I haven't talked to that neighbor in years. That's why. So it's a time to build your community, build your neighborhood, connect with everybody. So any last words or any questions, any more questions before we wrap up for the day? Any last words, Sherry, on our topic for today?
I think, you mentioned getting in, all the conversations you're having right now, whether they turn into a virtual appointment today or not. I'm going to remind you, because I see some new people on here that I have not seen, and I don't think were on last week. When you say, I am taking new clients for the spring market, I am booking appointments, I'm booking on-site appointments into May. What's better for you, May 6th or May 8th, right? The best thing that happens is we have that appointment. The worst thing is that we push it back further. However, in the meantime, I'd like to do all the things that we can do to talk about getting your home ready. This is a perfect opportunity. This is what I'm doing with a lot of people, which is talking about a pricing strategy, a marketing strategy, a staging strategy. Sellers are showing me their homes via Zoom and FaceTime, and we're able to get all of the things we need to out of the way so that when we are lifted, we'll be able to hit the ground running and get your house on the market quickly. And so to me, get a backlog. I guess my parting comments are always this: make sure your pipeline is full. You can be filling it right now. And when somebody says, I don't know what, I don't think we're going to do anything, you can actually say, I understand. However, a lot of people are doing a lot of the preliminary stuff with me right now. And that's going to keep the ball rolling with those people instead of them just flat out saying, yeah, we're going to wait. So you can take that, but you can also say, a lot of people are waiting because we're not going to put a sign in your yard, but here's what we're doing in the meantime. And that way you keep that conversation alive and you keep their interest in working with you alive, and you actually take it to a virtual platform where you can show them your marketing strategy, see their house, show them some houses and say, this is what I've been doing and it's working really well. And even the person who initially said, Tony, they don't want to do anything right now, will say, oh yeah, I can do that. That makes sense. Yeah, because we're not putting a sign in your yard and we're not showing the house, obviously, until we can. And there's no urgency. But in the meantime, let's do the following. And then you tie them down to a virtual appointment on your platform that you have now. So, and make sure, if you were on last week, the all those emails just went out with all the 5 recordings and all the handouts. And so we're excited because we know those will, hopefully help you. And if you weren't on those calls last week, I'm sure Tony would send you a copy of it. So just email myself or Tony and we can get you the recordings from last week. And I look forward to seeing you guys later this week too.
Well, thank you. And you're going to be on Thursday? Or
Thursday and Friday. Yep.
Okay. Well,
yep.
I will be here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So thank you for joining us, everyone, today, and see you tomorrow at 11. And remember, if something comes up, don't worry. I'm going to be sending out all of these slides every day. Even if you miss a day, I'll send out the slides of all the things that we were talking about, and also could book a one-on-one too. So everyone have a great, healthy, and safe day, and see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you. You too.